I'm Esther Rodgers, and I'm known for creative spinning and art yarns. And I'm going to show you how I core spin using the new Super Jumbo e-spinner from Ashford. This wheel combines the best of the country spinner with what is the best of their e-spinner 3. It's got a really large orifice, so you can fit lots of different kinds of textures and add-ins through. And it also has orifice reducers. So this wheel really can allow you to spin all types of yarns, to bulky through fine. The first thing you want to do is make sure that you have the drive band in the right space, which is always on the middle whirl. When you are not spinning, you can keep it on the small one so you don't stretch the drive band, but just make sure that when you spin, you have it on the middle. You also make sure that you want to oil your wheel before every time you spin, not just when you're core spinning. Once you have that ready, you're ready to start. So take your leader and thread it through your guide and then through your orifice. So you want to start by just spinning a single at the beginning, and this is how you're going to finish the yarn at the end. I usually spin a single for a yard or two. So once you have a bit of single spun, you can find the place that you're going to add your core. I open up my drafting triangle. I add my core and I fold the fiber around. And then I start spinning again. And I'm going to do so still as just a regular single. I'm not going to start to put any tension on this core yet because it'll just pull right out. So I've got to have at least another 6 or so inches of this single with the core that you're going to use inside. And to do that, I just draft out and let that fiber wrap around. Once you've spun that way for about 6 inches, you can pull back on the core and have tension, and it's not going to come out. So there is your anchor so that you can now start actually core spinning. So what I do is I wrap my core around my hand so that I keep my work area, that area that I'm guiding the fiber around the core, over these 2 fingers. Then my bottom 2 fingers curl around the core just to kind of help control the speed that it's coming through. I'm now going to begin drafting. In core spinning, you pinch right to the side of the core and you draft 90 degrees. You allow the twist to bring your fingers back together while the core is covered by the fiber. You draft out again and you bring your fingers together while the fiber wraps the core. You draft out, you bring your fingers together, you draft out. Remember, I have my tension set at sort of mid-high. I want to feel the pull of the core coming onto the bobbin. I also have the speed set at kind of a medium slow because you only want the speed of the wheel to be as fast as the fiber can wrap around the core. Otherwise, all you're going to be doing is building extra twist. You can get a really bulky yarn without a lot of weight, but if you actually want a thinner yarn, if you add slightly more speed and draft out slightly finer, you can spin thinner as well. So when you come to the end of your yarn or the end of your fiber and you want to finish, it's just like we did at the beginning. So you want about 6 inches of core. You begin to spin a single while letting that core just get trapped inside. And once you come to the end of the core, you keep going and finish with just a single. And so by having this twist, this traditional twist with a traditional twist angle, at the beginning and the end of your yarn, that keeps the foundation strong so that the fiber itself stays wrapped around the core and your yarn has structural integrity. So once you have the basic technique down, if you'd like to add another layer of texture, you can add in what's called auto wrapping. This is very simply done by adding a thinner thread to the top and lock that in by just spinning your fiber on top. So here's my auto wrap thread, here's my core. Just have your own way of making sure that your core and your wrapping thread don't tangle. So I hold my core and I allow my wrapping thread to stay over where I'm going to be drafting my fiber on. And I just kind of let it do its own thing. I don't worry about guiding it, I just let it wrap. So here's the thing. You want to keep your angle of spinning down towards you. And this will keep your wrapping thread right in front of where you're drafting. If you change your angle, that wrapping thread will begin to walk its way up towards the orifice. Now you can play a little bit by changing the angle up and then back down, and you can see how that auto wrap thread will work its way over on top of itself, so you can make some cool textures that way. But it's just a little bit easier to manage if you keep your angle of yarn slightly down towards you. I'm using here just a black sewing thread, but you can do this with any yarns, any fun novelty yarns. It's really fun to do it. And you can just cut lengths, 6 inches, 4 inches, and just add them here and there as opposed to letting it wrap around the whole length. It's really up to you. But this is a great way to dive into your stash of crazy, funky novelty yarns that we all know we have. Thanks so much, and I can't wait to see what you spin up on your eSpin.